I know we're all busy, and finding time to feed your family or even just thinking of what to feed your family can be so hard. I really love one-pot meals because you don't have to babysit them or clean a ton of dishes, so I wanted to show you a few of my favorite chicken dinners that I rely on a lot. First, I'm making a French onion, chicken, and rice skillet meal that's really delicious, where the chicken and the rice cook together in the same pan. You can use chicken breasts or thighs here, but chicken breasts are what I usually have on hand. You want to pound them to an even thickness just so they cook through evenly and quickly. I usually like to do this in a big Ziploc bag, but you could use 2 pieces of parchment paper or even cling wrap, then you don't have to wipe anything up. Once those are even, you just want to toss them in about half of the onion soup mix. You can do that in the bag. This is also something that I always have on hand because I love French onion dip. Next, you're gonna just sear the chicken in some olive oil. You want medium-high heat and make sure your oil in the pan is hot first. You don't need to worry about cooking the chicken through here, so once it's brown on both sides, just remove it to a pan and set it aside. If your chicken is sticking to the pan, that usually just means it needs a little bit longer. It'll release when it's ready. Reduce the heat and add a little more olive oil, add a sliced onion, and cook that until it's nice and golden brown. Be patient here and don't turn up your heat. This will take probably 10 minutes. Once they're nearly done, you can stir in the rice along with the rest of the soup mix packet and the beef broth. You want to use a low sodium beef broth because that soup packet is plenty salty. Stir in some thyme, fresh or dried, both work fine. Add the cream now too, and then just bring everything to a simmer. Nestle the chicken back in the pan and cover it. You want to reduce the heat so it's barely simmering and just let it cook until the rice is tender and the chicken is cooked through, which should take 20 minutes or so. I like to serve it out of the pan just like this. It doesn't need anything else. For the full recipe, you can find the link in the description below or go to 12tomatoes.com to search for the recipe. The next meal we're making is a one-pot Marry Me pasta. This whole Marry Me thing was really popular a while back, but really it just means it's a dish that has sun-dried tomatoes and cream in it, which is a delicious combo. I love this one because it only takes 20 minutes and the flavor is so great. Again, you want to pound your chicken out to an even thickness, and this time you can season it more liberally. First, you're going to sear the chicken in some olive oil. Once again, you don't need to worry about cooking it through. Once it's brown, just set it on a plate and let it rest. The next step is really to build the sauce, which starts with butter and garlic, which just needs to cook for a few seconds. Pour in some white wine to deglaze the pan, but if you don't have that, you can just use some chicken broth. If you do have wine, use something that's dry and not sweet. And either way, scrape up any brown bits from the bottom of the pan. You want all that flavor in there. Next is the rest of the chicken broth, some heavy cream, Italian seasoning, red pepper flake, and the sun-dried tomatoes, which you want to chop up first. Turn up the heat until things are simmering and then stir in the pasta. You can use any kind of medium shape. Something with some texture is nice to catch the sauce, so I'm using cavatappi. Nestle the chicken in and cover the pan and reduce the heat so it's barely simmering. It should take about 15 minutes until the chicken is cooked through and the pasta is close to done. At that point, you want to take the chicken out, stir in some Parmesan and fresh basil, and season it to taste. I like to slice up the chicken and stir it right into the pasta for easy serving. To serve this, I just like to finish it with some fresh parm and maybe a little more fresh basil if I have it. The last dish we're making is one of my favorites, and it's one that I love to make for company. It takes a little longer to cook, but it's pretty much hands-off, and if you're asking me, there's nothing better than roast chicken and vegetables. We're roasting chicken pieces instead of a whole chicken, right in the same pan with some root vegetables. Chop the vegetables into pretty big pieces, about 2 inches for the carrots and big wedges for the onions, so they still have some texture at the end of the cooking time. Mix together some garlic, olive oil, lemon juice, thyme, rosemary, and salt and pepper, and then pour half of that over the vegetables. Really, you can use whatever herbs you like and have on hand, but thyme and rosemary are kind of my go-to, and I have them in my garden. Mix that up. Your hands are generally the best kitchen tools you have, and then pour that into a 9x13 baking dish. Add the chicken to the same bowl and just toss it with the rest of that oil herb mixture. and then place the chicken on top of the vegetables. Season it nicely. This goes into a 425-degree oven, and it usually takes about an hour, but you want to check the temperature on the chicken at about 50 minutes. When it hits 165, it's done. This is truly one of my all-time favorite meals. I like to serve it with a simple green salad, and I definitely love to spoon the juice all over the vegetables. It's so good. Thanks for watching. You can find all these recipes in the description or at 12tomatoes.com.